Questions and comments? Question commentaire, the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Government House Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would encourage those individuals that are following the debate on this issue to give serious consideration to actually reading the entire context in which the Speaker made its presentation, and to assure individuals following the debate that the government has and continues to take foreign international interference very seriously. And you'll see that in the actions that we have taken virtually from 2016 all the way up to this past week, Mr. Speaker. Having said that, I would look to my friend across the way and ultimately argue that I think that Canada is in a relatively good position to be able to demonstrate leadership on the issue, and we want to see the issue go to PROC. PROC has the capabilities and the abilities to be able to come forward, hopefully, with a report where you have the support of all political entities in the chamber. And I'm wondering if my colleague across the way could provide his thoughts in regards to how good it would be if we would be able to leave or have a report coming back from PROC where we have the support of all political entities inside the chamber. Would he not believe that that would give a much stronger impression on collectively us working together to deal with foreign international interference?
The Honourable Member for Wellington Halton Hills.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank my honourable colleague for the question. I think opposition parties in this House have been highly responsible in how we have handled the information on foreign interference threat activities that have come to our attention over the last 2 years. When these stories broke, they didn't break because the government informed members of this House or this House's committees about these foreign interference threat activities. They broke because they were printed on the front page of newspapers like the Globe and Mail. And when we received that information, that the rest of the general public received at the same time, we treated it in a highly nonpartisan and responsible manner. In fact, I don't recall many questions in this House about Don Valley North or about Steveston Richmond East over the course of the last year and a half, because we weren't certain what the facts were. It's not until May 3rd of last week, when Justice Hogue released her initial report, Justice Hogue having found certain things in those writings, that we began to raise questions, because she received the evidence and made findings based on her judicial judgment. And so I think in this whole matter, opposition parties have been highly responsible in how we treated this information, and I expect we will be highly responsible going forward if this matter goes to the Procedure and House Affairs Committee.
Questions and comments? Question commentaire, l'honorable député de Saint-Hyacinthe.
The honourable member for Saint-Hyacinthe-Bagot. I, too, would like to express all my support for members who've experienced interference and intimidation, and their family members as well. I think we all share that same sentiment. That said, we have to take action now. There was a report last week about foreign interference, and I'd like my colleague, first of all, to say, does that report satisfy him? And I believe he sits on the Foreign Affairs Committee. I think we're all affected by this. There are all kinds of bots and things on social media. The social media are flooded with this kind of interference and foreign interference. So as a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, I'd like to know whether the member can tell us, given that we often learn through the media at the last minute that these kinds of activities have occurred, where, in his opinion, should we be looking in order to nip these things in the bud in the future? The honourable member for Wellington Halton Hills. Thank you for that question. I really appreciate it. First of all, I think the initial report by Justice Hogue is a good start, because she's going to come up with a second report by December, at the end of this year. And I will keep working with the Commission to ensure that the second report is a good one, a solid one, and that it makes some strong recommendations to build a national security system that will protect our democratic institutions. I think I also agree that the government has to take action. It was in 2018 that the director of CSIS sounded the alarm and stated publicly in 2018 that there was a problem with national security here in Canada, in particular with China, with the PRC. And 6 or 7 years have passed since then. I think it's been too long. Any government action is overdue. As the member for the NDP said, it's a bit late to be tabling legislation to create a foreign agent registry. So there's a lot of other things to be done, and I think the government should do it.